I met Matt Crow through jiu-jitsu. He sat down with me a little while ago and we talked about his business and how he got here. It's an incredible story, carving your own path in Sun Valley. All right, Matt Crow.
And we're live.
We are live. Yes, sir. Thank you for sitting down with me. So we're in the back of the shop here at
Mountain Rose Tattoo.
Mountain Rose Tattoo. We'll get a video of the front because it looks pretty slick. Okay. Now, way back when, this used to be a CD store.
Yep. Big Bad Bills.
Big Bad Bills. I bought a Sublime album.
Nice.
From Big Bad Bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of customers come in and have, pretty good fun memories of Big Bad Bill. I mean, first CDs they bought, here, whatever.
Yeah. So. And it's all coming back, right? Like the CDs and the
vinyl, record vinyl.
It's all back.
I got a big old collection of vinyl. I love listening to records and drawing. It's
awesome. Well, thank you for sitting down. So give me a little background. How long you been in the Valley? Where'd you come from? How did you get here?
Okay. Well, I grew up in California, and I grew up on the central coast of California, and moved up and down California, and then about 21 years old, I joined the Coast Guard, and then traveled all over in the Coast Guard. Worked at several different stations throughout mostly in the continental United States, the Caribbean, up in like Bering Sea and stuff like that. So did that for 22 years. And
Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, thank you. It was my pleasure. So I did that for 22 years. And the last 10 years of that, I was tattooing. So I learned to tattoo. And that kind of, what sparked that was I was stationed in San Francisco and I was getting tattooed by this cool old timer, Henry Goldfield. And I met him at Cow Palace with a tattoo convention. It was just kind of a serendipitous meeting, and he was an old Navy guy. And so he liked it. He loved talking, anything sailor, so we felt, fast friends. He was tattooing me. And at the time I kind of wanted to cut my career in half. I would have got out at like 12 years or something like that. And so I started apprenticing with him, luckily, and I didn't even know what I had, but I was super lucky to get in and, learn to tattoo in his shop at that time. So anyways, fast forward a couple years, I'm set to get out of the Coast Guard. He talks me into staying in, which I really appreciate because, he was like, just stick around for 10 more years. You got a great job, At the time I was a helicopter rescue swimmer, so getting to fly around in helicopters, every place I got stationed with, I get to see everything.
Yeah.
To do, really fun stuff. And satisfying job, right? Like job satisfaction was high with that one.
Yeah. You weren't looking to get out.
I wasn't. Yeah.
You're not like, I can't be here anymore.
Yeah. Exactly. I wasn't totally looking to get out, but I probably would have been voted least likely to join the military in high school, in my class.
Yeah.
But I can play the game and excel at the game and at points. But anyways, so decided to stick it out, stay in. At the time I had a growing family, which had our first daughter, and so it's like, let's keep some security. So
still in the Bay Area at this time?
Yes, still in the Bay Area. Okay. So transfer out up into Washington State. Okay. Doing the same job up there, and just continued to tattoo, and then got the opportunity to teach the school for rescue swimmers. So
okay.
Got the opportunity to be an instructor at the schoolhouse to end my career. As kind of, a good give back, I guess, like it was a very, very satisfying last 5 years.
Yeah.
Way to end a career to kind of.
That's really cool, man. You do all that time, and then you've got that talent and skill to share with this up and
teach the
coming
next
crop.
generation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was really satisfying, and also the dynamic I had going with, you know, towards the end of the last few weeks of their, you know, school, when kind of ease up on them a little bit, you know, they'd be like, hey, I heard you were a tattooer, you know. So I tattooed a lot of them, you know, on their way out, you know, and got to hear all the stories of, you know, because it's a, you know, register school is one of the harder schools in the military, you know, so it's very knife handy, you know. So that was really a cool dynamic. And then also I still go and travel, you know, throughout the country, and Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and tattoo at the air stations there, because I had tattooed that younger crop of rescue swimmers that are, you know, there's not that many. There's only like 350.
Well, that's a big culture within that community.
It's a tight knit. It's a very tight knit culture, which is something I appreciate now, not having that. You know?
Right. Kind of having that retro, like being able to look back at it.
Yeah, but still kind of have it too, because there's buddies I call right now.
Yeah. It's right there.
They do anything. Yeah. So it's cool. So anyways, that last 5 years doing that job, and also, you know, double time and working as a tattooer. My wife was holding down the fort, right? So I'm up at 5:30. I'm off to school sometimes earlier than that, when we wanted to wake them up and surprise them, you know, in the early morning workout. And then do that till 4 or 5, then head to the tattoo shop, tattoo sometime till midnight or past. So I did that for, you know, last 10 years, definitely the last 5 years. But so it was my wife's turn to pick where we, you know. It was her turn. It was her turn to get, like, in the military.
You got told where to go.
Yeah, but in the military we have what's called a dream sheet, right? Like, so when you're trying to transfer out, you want to pick, you know, you don't want to give them too many choices, but you want to give your choices, you know, called a dream sheet. So it was her turn to turn in, even though she turned the dream sheet in with me. It's still limited picks. You know?
there were spots on the board that were kind of pre-allocated.
Exactly. So this was, you know, it was her opportunity, and she had just she was working, you know, her ass off at home, taking care of the kids and getting her CPA. So she got her CPA, and we were looking for somewhere to go, and, you know, there was opportunity to stay in North Carolina, where we were at the schoolhouse there, moving to the Outer Banks. We looked at back near where my parents live, San Luis Obispo, California. We looked at spots in Washington where my wife lives. We looked in Montana, where my wife is from. Oregon, where my brother's at right now. And then an opportunity fell our way to come check this place out. A group that she worked for in San Francisco, an accounting firm, had moved a firm here. And so, you know, they said, hey, come check this out. They were emailing her every 1 to 2 years, like, hey, when's your husband getting out of the Coast Guard? When you can come work for us again? And although, like, I love San Francisco, I was like, I'm not moving back to the Bay Area. You know?
Well, you got your girls at that point, right? And how old are they at this point when you're kind of making this transition out of the military into making this life decision?
Kindergarten and second grade.
So they're really on the forefront of your mind, right? Like where we want to live is around our girls.
Totally, big time. And then, you know, coming out, when I knew my wife, she was in high school. She was in, I'd never even heard of this before, but she was in a club that went around and interviewed for jobs. Like, it was a competition job interviewing club. I've never seen her not get a job.
She's skilled.
She's skilled at interviewing. She's just skilled in general.
Nice.
Anyways, so I knew she was going to get a good job. Like, and no matter where we went, you know, she's not as, you know, confident about it, you know, but I know you're going to get whatever job you apply for. So anyways, the group asked us to come check it out, and I remember we came down. It was first time we came down Was it Christmas? No, it wasn't Christmas. The first time we came down was in summertime. We mountain biked, and we were walking down Main Street, and a friend of ours is still a friend today, Sandy. She's a bus driver. Actually, just drove the kids. Or my youngest daughter had a middle school basketball game yesterday in Twin Falls.
Yeah.
And she was the bus driver
Yeah.
of that. Anyways, so first kind of person we met, like local.
Yep.
My wife and I are sitting on the right in front of the library on one of the park benches there, and having an ice cream cone from Yellow Bellies, I think at the time.
Yep.
And we're sitting there, we're like, this town is cool, This was 2017.
Okay.
It's 2017.
So this is you're just visiting.
Yeah, we're just visiting. She got the job offer, and so they wanted to kind of show us around, and they took us out to CK's for dinner, and wined and dined us, and showing us around. And at the time, there was no tattoo shop here, so I'm like, oh,
interesting.
Interesting. So we're sitting there on the park bench, and Sandy comes by, and she's just, oh my God, you two are so cute. Can I take a picture of you? Give me your camera. She's like, what are you two doing here? Just out of the blue.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we got a job offer here, and we're looking at, possibly moving here. And she's like, well, scoot over. And she sat in between us and put her arms around us. She's like, what do you need to know about the area?
Yeah. She got local with you real quick.
Yeah.
Brought you into the fold.
She grew up here. So anyway, that was like the first, person we met. Like, oh, this community is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I remember, like, kind of sparked my, wow, I like it around here, is, I've always like worked out and been, into whatever action sports, adventures, and, so I remember being in the Black Owl, and I met a guy, and, in my mind, I was like, oh, he's probably late 60s, early 70s at the most, but, looks really in shape for his age. Started talking with him. Dude was like 82 years old.
Yeah.
And I started looking around, and I'm like, man, there's some really in shape
older people
here. Like, this is a cool, it's a cool culture. Like,
for sure.
There's a good culture of adventure. And, we're at the doorstep of so much.
Boise's got that easy access, but literally, we are.
Yeah.
We are so in it, right? You're in the river in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You're on a bike trail, and it's just right there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Seconds from my house right now.
Yeah. We'll go, hike Baldy, and I did, there's those moments of shame where you get passed by that 70 or 80-year-old.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. And they whiz right by, and you're like, okay,
dude,
there's still room to grow.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I remember running up Carbon, and I was on this mission when I got here to, like, see how fast I could get to the flagpole and back down, going straight up the ridge, And I remember going up there, and there was an older dude, running down the switchbacks.
Yeah.
And, like, he was almost with me.
Yeah.
He was almost with me.
Yeah.
He was charging, and I was charging.
Yeah.
I was at pretty good shape at that point. So anyways.
So you get that you come here, you're on that visit, you meet Sandy, who's just, I think what sounds like kind of what the embodiment of what we would think this town is. Like, hey, welcome to Hailey, welcome to Sun Valley.
Yeah.
What questions do you have? So she kind of is that first person. So
on
that trip, you guys make the decision, like, this is it. This is where we're moving.
I think we left here like, this is number one on the dream sheet. I think we definitely left here with that feeling, that sentiment. And then the more we, kind of dove into it, and the more, Mandy really enjoyed working for this couple, and did, mostly while we were here, COVID hit and things got weird and whatever. And tax season. She was a tax accountant, so tax season,
I'll drown you,
is not fun. So so she's in the school district now. She's the chief financial officer for the school district now, which is awesome. Like, that's something that you know, like when we were talking about where we want to go, we're like, because we, you know, she moved around with me for what, 17 years or something. Because we got married right about 17 years. She moved around. I moved around for 22 years. So never like fully involved in a community.
Right.
You know, so
you're not there long enough to plant
the you
roots,
never
right?
fully get.
Yeah.
You know, even you join clubs or join.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. You know, you get like. I grew up surfing, and so that was part of the reason for me to join the Coast Guard. So there's always like a surf culture everywhere I went. I would get in and end up doing stuff with the locals and getting away from the military on my off time and stuff like that. But you're never like fully in a community,
right?
So the fact that she's working over there, doing a big girl job like that and coaching basketball and just I feel like we're doing what we're hoping to do,
right?
Right. I wish there was surf here, but there's a mountain. So
there's maybe didn't they talk about kind of doing something with the river to make it some sort of a...
I've heard things. I've heard things. I've heard somebody like was even like getting pretty serious, maybe up north, about building one of those Kelly Slater style wave tanks. I don't know how true that is.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I would welcome that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I would welcome that.
So you guys have been here since 2017. How long has the tattoo shop been open?
Tattoo shop's been open since 18.
Okay.
Yeah, since towards the end of 18.
Okay.
I first did my first couple tattoos in here. I kind of this shop was, I gutted it and kind of redid everything really. The floors, I didn't do too much in the ceiling other than paint it, but ripped the walls apart, did most of the drywall, created all the countertops. That was fun, doing the epoxy countertops. That was a fun little project. It was one of those like, I think this is going to take 3 weeks. It's going to take 6 weeks. But,
as projects like that go, right?
Yeah, I loved it, like building the shop and like having something that I can look at as mine.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I don't know, I'm building,
but the business is yours.
Feels mine. When
yeah,
I walk in.
Yeah. So you've been here since 2018, running the shop. What was now we're 7 years into this.
Mm-hmm.
What as it's evolved, are there things about running a tattoo parlor, tattoo shop in Sun Valley, Idaho, that are different than you thought they would be?
Oh yeah, for sure. Being kind of remote and out of the way. It's not a, when you look at the population, like what are we considering the population right now? Like
I think
I've heard 28.
I don't know. I think you're somewhere between 15 and 20,000 with the whole county or something like that. Okay. And then, but not full-time residents, that's a whole other subset. So I don't know what the actual boots on the ground on a day-to-day basis is.
So that's a fair amount of people. And like I said, there was no tattoo shop when we came to look at it. There was one that was here when we a year later when we ended up I got out of the Coast Guard and we moved here. But now again we're the only shop in the valley. But like I something I wanted initially to have with the shop was I quickly realized that there's not a bunch of tattooers around here, obviously, so I don't have a big pool. I think a lot of businesses see that, like they don't have a big workforce. Like that's
a challenge everywhere.
That's a challenge.
I think any industry you would pick from, right?
Yeah.
I think they would, any business owner would say staffing, employment is one of the biggest challenges.
But and then to put a little bit more on that challenge, like if you're in a city or even anywhere near a city, a town like this, a valley like this, typically would see 3-4 tattoo shops, maybe 2-3, which I don't think we could sustain that. Like I'm happy, I'm spread. I'd love to spread the love or whatever.
We do the dominant player.
I don't think the valley could sustain that. That many tattoo shops. They could sustain a couple. 3 maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there is definitely wasn't a tattoo culture built. Like you go to some cities and there's a culture
Oh
of
yeah.
tattoos,
Oh yeah.
like uh, Asheville, North Carolina, near where I was stationed last. Like it has a very like distinct culture of tattoos. San Francisco, very
Yeah.
distinct culture.
Yeah.
All the big cities do. New York, like all the big cities. And then there's a bunch of like kind of ones that are coming up. Like Albuquerque has a big tattoo scene. Tulsa, Oklahoma is getting a big scene growing.
Interesting.
Like there's different towns like that are kind of
Yeah.
bustling with tattoo.
Where does that bubble up from? I would think San Francisco kind of bubbles up from in my mind, it would be like a Navy thing or something like that.
Initially,
Yeah,
100%.
like that's kind of where that culture kind of is. Is Asheville, North Carolina, a similar story? Is that a
No, I wouldn't say that. I would say maybe Army. Yeah.
Okay, but some sort of military.
Yeah, I mean that's traditionally back in the day. That's how it was. Like tattoo shops were around military facilities, because a lot of it was military.
Which the Wood River Valley clearly doesn't have
really
that.
have. So, and honestly, I couldn't tell you if there's a tattoo shop in Mountain Home, which is kind of crazy. But Air Force is probably the least of the militaries that gets tattoos.
They're clean cut.
No, they're a little bit more clean.
Yeah.
they got golf courses in all their bases. Okay, so
that's a different crop.
Different crop, which is fine.
Yeah, we need those guys flying planes.
Exactly. Not having a big military culture around here, and then not a city culture. There's not a big tattoo culture, but at the same time, like we have a great clientele. It's a different clientele.
Okay.
Where I learned in San Francisco was right on Broadway, right up from the piers down there, where all the Navy ships used to, park. And he had opened that shop in initially 71 on the Barcadero, but then up there in 74. So he was up there in a bustling time. All the bars, all the clubs and stuff are right there, and then the tattoo shop. So clientele was very different.
Right.
And especially fast forward to 2006 when I started going in there.
Mm-hmm.
Navy had kind of gone away from there, and so you're right on the edge of Chinatown right there, and it kind of got a little got a little seedy.
Mm-hmm.
The strip clubs,
all
of that's right there. So it's a totally different culture.
Those little neighborhoods evolve and change.
Like I mean, kicking people out of the shop on a weekly basis, for being drunk or stupid or whatever. So
hence why you weren't looking to go back to San Francisco to raise the family.
I mean, there's definitely good pockets.
Oh, there's no doubt. Everyone's got their strengths. No doubt.
Exactly. But yeah, this is a much different kind of tattoo culture for sure, and I love it. And I think what I've tried to build and what I want to kind of work towards building more throughout my journey in tattooing is add a kind of, I don't know, Western flair is what's kind of in my head.
Okay.
Like I don't know, there's everything's been done under the sun, like it's hard to get original or whatever, but like that, I have a like a vision up there.
Okay.
So I don't know part of what I really wanted to build here was out of the valley too, like be part of the culture. So like apprenticing Nathan, who grew up here, is awesome, because he's a local artist that wanted to get into tattooing, but hard to get into it. Just in general. So being able to be here in his hometown.
How has the community like embraced the business? And you said you've got a great clientele. How have they come to find you? Is this word of mouth? Is this
definitely was for the first 3 years when it was just me in here. I had an apprentice for a while, Daniel, and he ended up going off to college. then Nathan and Becky started working for me shortly after that. So, but those first 3 years, definitely more word of mouth, you know. I think it's still probably a little word of mouth. I mean, I don't push ads on Instagram, and, you know, looking at, you know, doing that just to, you know, get them some more work, especially while I'm
yeah. For those of you who don't know, we know each other through jujitsu, and I don't think it's a jujitsu injury.
Yeah,
it doesn't help.
Probably exacerbated it.
An old military injury that getting, you know, choked out and tapped a couple times, you know, over a 20-year history hasn't helped.
Might have helped.
Yeah. So the community really it's taken. And I got on your you know, Instagram page and your website, and I mean, you guys have really done a lot of work. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have you know, been through here.
Yeah. It's been cool. I mean, I think we have a good you know, core clientele. You know, we all kind of do something a little different, or like to do something different, you know, and clients that, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like just get along, or you know,
have that rapport.
Yeah. Get a rapport with a tattooer, and then we get to work together to build whatever you know, vision they have for their tattoo.
I would think that you would want that to be a collaborative
100%
approach, right?
It's a good.
I think there's a place for, like, hey, I'm on vacation and I'm going to get this tattoo that's spur of the moment. But where we live here in this, like, that's something you probably want to have that. You know, pride in, like, hey, 10 years down the road. Right.
I like a little both. Like my, you know, early tattooing was in a, you know, walk-in shop. So I do like that spur of the moment.
Sharpens your sword, I'll bet.
Yeah, it does. Sharpens your sword. Also, it's you're working with somebody like right there, and you're getting something out, and you're making it, and boom, you know. I do like that. You know, right then and there. You know.
Does that happen as much here?
Not as much. We go through phases with it. I feel like there was a time when I was just only doing walk-ins, and I was doing pretty good with it. And then, you know, life happens, and I've got to take my younger daughter to basketball, you know, in Twin 2 times a week, and then Salt Lake on the weekends, or Boise on the weekends. So you know, I have to start doing appointments. And, you know,
take it a little seriously.
It's just, you know, back and forth. When I'm in here, I love taking walk-ins. When I'm in here, I like that aspect of the client, you know, tattooer client relationship. But
how do you think the after you know, this many years running the business and serving, you know, your clientele, how has what kind of impact do you think it's had? Like, do you go back to that culture piece? Do you think that is Sun Valley starting to get a little bit of that tattoo culture that some of these other towns have, or, you know, how has?
I think there's a, you know, culture within, you know, there's a few different cultures that are getting tattooed now. I think that's the difference from maybe, say, 20 years ago. You know, most people that you saw covered in tattoos were, you know, military, bikers, you know, ex-cons, like that's kind of who you saw heavily tattooed.
Right? Going back a ways. Right. It feels like there's this. Maybe there still is a little bit of a stigma around it, but I think it's really like that wall's been broken down.
Exactly. Now it's, you know, and I love it, because, you know, like some of the, you know, like, no offense, soccer mom, hockey moms are covered. And they like cool stuff, you know, and it's fun to tattoo, you know.
For sure.
It's super fun to have. We have like big groups of, you know, it's mostly groups of women that get tattooed together, you know.
Like, you don't see a lot of guys coming in.
You know, there's not a lot of guys getting tattooed together, like in a group or whatever. But they come in, and, you know, like, in good energy.
Well, girls go to the bathroom in groups. They get tattooed in groups.
They get tattooed in groups, and it's super fun, you know. So there's a that's like a whole new culture of people are getting tattooed. Then you've got like, say, like a younger crowd that they really like the just line work or just very simple, small pieces. Like,
Okay.
kind of that's a kind of a newer style. So that's a whole nother like culture of people getting tattooed that don't necessarily fit into
That box you would
yeah
say. These are the
that
people
fit
who get
into one of the
tattoos.
boxes of what. And then I mean I can't even tell you how many first tattoos I've done on 60-year-old plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cousin had a daughter, and she's got Down syndrome.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old she is. She's 6 or 7 at this time. But my aunt and uncle are from Gooding and Blackfoot,
Yeah.
and they're pretty straight cut,
Yeah,
like
pretty
raised
conservative
horses, and
with that. Yeah.
they're cowboys. And there's the Down syndrome logo is three V's.
Yeah.
Reverse triangles or whatever.
Yeah.
And so they all went out and they all have it right here on. So my
Yeah.
cousin, his wife, my aunt and uncle, they all went out and got that tattoo. And again, that's just a little something
Yeah.
like, I'll be with my uncle. We were just at a wedding, and he'll be sipping his whiskey, and I'll be like, all right, Uncle Kenny's got a tattoo.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, but it hit home because it was personal to him.
Yeah. Yeah. I love being able to. I mean, that's one of the good, great parts about the job is being able to provide those moments for people.
Yeah.
I mean, not closure, but done so many like memorial tattoos that you can see the pain in people and
Yeah.
I want to say like a release of some pain, but it does, in a way. It's like tattoo therapy is a real thing.
Yeah.
So, there's that aspect of it as well. And then, just the artistic aspect of it in general.
Yeah. So where do you think this, over the course of 1, 3, 5 years, where do you see your business, and what do you see happening here?
Well, you probably know about the burn down next door, the registry station. So, because that burned down, the owner of this building is going to demo this building and develop this whole block right here. So we're going to need to be out. It kind of keeps being pushed off next summer, probably, and maybe next summer type of deal. So I don't know. I'm hoping for 27.
Okay.
I'm hoping to stay in here until about 27. But either way.
Okay.
At that point, the goal is to, own my own building.
Mm-hmm.
So finding something that was affordable that we could move into, and then another build out, keep it going. Keep pushing. I've got hopefully 20 years of tattooing left in me. So,
yeah. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that we should have talked about?
Let me think here. I mean, another very attractive, aspect of moving to the valley was I don't know if we touched too hard on the kids, but all the opportunities that kids have here, all of the sports that they have here, it's different as far as team sports. Like I think, certain team sports, you kind of have to go out of the valley to get looks at,
Yeah, I mean, we're
whatever.
You and I know it well enough. We're landlocked, but we're an island.
Yeah.
Every
game's 2 hours
everything's
away.
2 hours away. So there's definitely, I think, I coach hockey. Your kids are involved with basketball, and it's what we have here is phenomenal. Yeah. But if you really want to go to the next level
in certain sports,
you do have to sort of look outside of it.
Yeah.
But I think, for us, we can build an incredible base here.
Yeah.
And provide a ton of opportunities.
Yeah. And I mean, like there's always this weird thought, like they have to be like pro, like they don't have to be pro, just the opportunities to be able to build skills in so many different areas. I think
it's relationships. So it's learning how to lose. It's learning how to compete. It's learning how to win, right? It's all those different things. And I think that goes back to that community, right? Like, we're here because it is that small, tight knit feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've all got our little segments that we run with, but there's overlap. And I think that's what draws us to the Valley and wanting to stay here is those relationships and those people and those opportunities for the families and the kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Has your experience, you know, over the course of living here, has it lived up to that park bench moment with Sandy where you're like, man, this super lovely woman, you know, just took us under her wing for just a few minutes. Has it lived up to that?
Yeah, totally. I think like any place, I mean, in my adult life, I've ever moved around every 3 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly 4 or 5 years. And then, you know, before the Coast Guard, you know,